Hey guys, Itsagundam has cancelled his live show quality content, and his show producer, Pescatore, has come out and started revealing some behind-the-scenes drama involving Gundam and his artist, Anus, that led to the show's cancellation. He also brought up Gundam's drug use, his jealousy, and how he felt about other internet personalities like the Friday Night Tights crew, Camelot, and VTubers like Kirsche. But first, let's get into how the show came about. We're going back into 2019-2020. Friday Night Tights were looking for a new panelist to join their roster, and Itsagundam threw his hat in the ring. Sadly for him, Shadiversity got the job instead. We don't know why they passed on Gundam. I think it was because of his popularity. He would have overshadowed everyone on that show. Either that or because of his drug use. Gary Nerdrotic is a former drug addict, and he probably doesn't want someone that does drugs on the show and he's blatant about it, and he would rather have a family man, a safe family man like Shadiversity. But that's all speculation. Pescatore alleges that since losing the opportunity to be on Friday Night Tights as a full-time panelist, Gundam wanted a show of his own that would rival Friday Night Tights. Since then, Gundam's artist Anus has been pushing him to do live stream shows, hoping to be its producer. But quality content didn't happen until Gundam met with Pescatore and he made him the producer. Anus then felt slighted not being chosen for the role and slowly becomes a thorn in both of their sides. I'll get into this later. Pescatore states that he had to deal with Gundam's diva behavior and drug use and his jealousy on a constant basis. He was handling all the back-end technical stuff, show prep, and reading the super chats, and Gundam wasn't even promoting the show at all. He would ignore all the show prep and he would just want to show up and shoot the shit with his guests, which is fine, but he never had a conversation with his producer about it. He even scolded Pescatore for trying to ask the critical drinker a question live on air. In spite of all this, the show was a success, and Gundam still wasn't happy because he wanted Friday Night Tights numbers. What he doesn't understand is that Friday Night Tights gradually built themselves up to that 20k live viewer number. It wasn't overnight. I remember they were at 10k, 12, 13, 15, now they're at 20. There's some more examples of his pettiness, like how he didn't like one of his super chatters giving Kirsche a $300 super chat, and he felt like it was being taken out of his pocket, and he didn't want to raid Camelot's live stream and give him his viewers, because when Camelot went on quality content, Itsagundam didn't get any subscribers. Why is the guy so well loved, successful, and getting massive amounts of views acting like this? Why is he so money hungry? Well, he might have a drug problem. Durance Vile on Kiwi Farms writes, he's only into YouTube as some kind of mental health last-ditch thing after a failed self-delete attempt. I didn't know this. That's pretty sad. He lost a potential recording contract for his band, the New York Jaded. Yeah, because of his, they didn't have social media presence. I remember that. Okay, he gets into some more things with Pokimane and like DSB stuff. But what I want to really focus on is the second part. He recently started a weekly live stream on Wednesdays called Quality Content. The stream has revealed that without a script, Gundam's quite a diva who insists that he has to get high as a kite to get through the day. He blames part of that on living in New York State and is trying to move out, but I strongly get the impression he's just kind of a sad sack of shit behind the funny man routine. He's made it clear he's in YouTube for the money and wants to disappear in a drug and hookers filled haze as soon as he can afford it. Wow, there's a lot to unpack here. If this is all to be believed, of course. So he says that he got into some mental health last-ditch thing after a failed self-delete attempt. Like, no, buddy. Like, you should have got to therapy. YouTube isn't gonna make you all better or in regards to that. And you need drugs to get through the day because of YouTube videos. Go work at a gas station. Go work construction 60 hours a week. Go fuck yourself, dude. Imagine being his producer and having to deal with him falling asleep during the show and just having to step up in general. He's always complaining about having to edit his videos. He's lucky he gets to edit his videos. He's lucky he gets people sending him free gifts every month, him and his dog, that he gets to open and make more content out of because he films himself. Why doesn't he go work as a janitor somewhere if it's so hard to edit his videos? He's acting like a total bitch. Let's get back into his artist and how she's been behaving Behind the scenes, Anus does all the art for Itsagundam and gets a percentage of the sales from his store. She's been pestering and being annoying to Gundam lately, and he just gave her full profits off the store to get her off his back. Anus feels slighted that she isn't the show producer, and Pescatore leaked his DMs with her. So they start out pretty friendly, and then she just turns on him. So here you go. I've been trying to convince Gundo to stream more and just do chatting and subject style streams rather than gaming with Zill, who isn't reliable. It's nice you could give him some stability. They've been good so far too. In the next one, she goes, "Whoops, sorry I missed these. I'm not on the payroll, so I'm just free. I'm just a free spirit out here living my life." This comes across as passive aggressive. She's really mad that she's not getting any money from the show as a producer. And then she goes, "I kept trying to get him to do this, but he just never seemed into it. I guess he needed a man to take his hand." It's like she's framing it like it was all her idea, like it would never have happened without her, even though she's kind of on the outside, not really profiting off of it. That last bit's just about like the fans that he has, that Gundam has. So here she's just talking to Pescatore, which is why I'm saying I have no issue with you. It's Gundam who is clueless. I told Gundam always I couldn't take money from him unless it was ethical due to his housing situation. What the hell is she talking about? What's his housing situation? He's not homeless. He's just trying to move. Why doesn't he just sell his house and move? Or if he's renting, why is it such a big deal? This next part is just about her upbringing. And then she goes, "I was working to help him with his stream so I could, like you, take a percent. But I was waiting for him to realize he could stream without Zill, because for months he was stuck on how he couldn't stream because Zill was out of the country." Then she goes, "And I know you never meant to hurt my feelings. I'm just not the type of person to hide how I feel. I don't think it's healthy." This sounds like a complete cope to me. Pescatore responds, and he basically tells her that he was also at the same time telling Gundam that he needed to stream because he was going to kill it. "Trust me, bro, I had no idea. But when we were preaching the same thing, I kept telling him he would stream. He would kill streaming on his big channel without Zill, but he wasn't interested. He thought he would get in trouble by saying something wrong, but I have seen people do the worst and still remain in the partner program. So last summer I was like, I'll tell you what, I will produce the show and try to build it out, because I kind of retired from YouTube during the pandemic, and this would be my first project in 3 years. It took months, but we made a hard date for January 2024, and he didn't even announce it. And so far, I think the show has worked. Since I've worked in content creation before, I always tell creative to get paid for their work, but also make an agreement with the person in the beginning. I can see why you are upset, and if there's anything I can help with, let me know." See, unlike her, he showed initiative, and he built the show for Gundam, and he profited off of it rather than just hoping that Gundam would notice him to make the show. And then he goes on to ask to how he can help her too. So this next part, it's just more coping from her. "I wish Gundam would have told me this was in the works for months. I've worked with actual productions. I was an animation director before moving to the US. She later goes on to say that she was jobless and her dad was having some problems with his eyesight. He was going blind in Canada. Then she goes on to say, I'll be doing his merch and taking a percent, but I told him it hurt to see how little he considered me. I kinda was helping keep the momentum going with the free art on his channel, so I just assumed the same courtesy out of him that he would consider me. But I forgot he was a man and men suck at reading between the lines. Just because I did an outright offer, I thought my intentions were pretty clear. But again, I'm not trying to out you, I don't care. I'm used to getting effed over in life, probably more so than Gundam. I'll take this energy and put it elsewhere." It's all on her. He never wanted to do that show, but to placate her, he just gave her all the profits off of his store to get her off of his back, because he has been complaining about her to Pescatore. This next part is where Anus starts turning on him. "I've made millions in pitches, you have merely worked for Drama Alert. Trust me. How condescending can you be? This is in regards to a pitch deck, which is a way for them to get investors for the quality content show. Why even involve her in this? She's just the artist. She goes on to just completely shit on the dude's work. And then she goes, honestly, my art is carrying the whole thing. Why would you want to be involved with this type of person? She goes, if you need my art in these slides, I'll need compensation. Also $100 since it's carrying as much as the work as this piss poor designer. Sorry I didn't realize you were a POS. Ripping on people with downs is effing gross. This is in regards to him liking a tweet or commenting on a tweet from Chrissy Mayer where she posted a video about people with Down syndrome and how like 5 of them were like trans and then one of them was like a chef. He like laughed at it or something and she just completely turns on the dude. It's clearly an excuse because she's angry that she's not the producer and she doesn't have access to that money that he's getting. And here's proof that she doesn't really care about him making fun of people with Down syndrome or laughing at a video about people with Down syndrome because she goes, you're not a very good person. I help Gundo because he's a good person. But if you can't see what's wrong with what you posted, you're kind of tarded yourself. If you were really offended, you would never have used that term. Finally, in this last bit of the DMs, he writes that he can take the pictures out. And then she just attacks him for being a bad producer. I'm tired of you pretending you are a producer. You have had no good input on this pitch deck. Like, what does it matter to you? You're clearly just seething. This chick comes off like an unhinged groupie. It reminds me of that story where the superfan took the life of Selena, that singer. Yeah, this is completely unhinged. Gundam needs to separate from her, and it's better for Pescatore that he's not dealing with either of them anymore. Well, what do you guys think of all this? Gundam's pettiness and his behavior in general. Pescatore revealed this PayPal screenshot that Gundam paid him and the note that he left. DB Productions, the show I hate. $798.16. Like, bro, go work at Costco if YouTube live streaming is so hard for you, and let's see how you feel about it. Isn't that the advice you give Darkside Phil? To go get a job because he complains about YouTube and you're better than that? Why won't you go get a job? You're giving off DSP energy right now. People online are calling him It's a DSP and Darkside Gundam and It's a Pig Roach. Pescatore said that Gundam wants to make a show with Kirsche because he wants big numbers. But if he's being a diva and a drug addict and getting bitchy about $300 about his fans giving her money, why would she? People just want to have fun on a live stream. Let me know how you feel about this in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Catch you next time.